Hi, and welcome to Sophia Empowerment Empowering Lives. Today on Media and Public Awareness Initiative, we are opportune to have a special guest who is a professor and media expert in communication and media field in person of Dr. Micheal Mirer. I will have Dr. Mirer to introduce himself, and thereon we can talk about issues that has to do with media and create more public awareness in different topics. Thank you. Hi, Dr. Mara. Thank
Hi,
you so much for having us. Thank you
happy to be
for
here.
honoring our invitation. I really appreciate that. So, if you don't mind, please, if you could briefly introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Sure. So my name is Michael Mirer. I am a assistant professor of communication here at UW Milwaukee. Um, my main research areas are journalism studies and sports media. Two great tastes that go great together, as far as I'm concerned. I got my PhD. I've been here for 7 years. I got my PhD at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Before I did grad school, I was a sports reporter, so I covered sports, college and professional sports in California, and then
Mhm.
before that, high school and college sports in New Mexico. Had the great joy of covering LeBron James's first NBA regular season game
Wow.
way back in 2003. That was maybe
Great.
the highlight of my journalism career.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So, talking about journalism, I'm just going to start from there. You know, from 2023 to this time, so many things has changed, right? Especially when it comes to the use of AI in journalism and all that. So, I just want us to discuss how things has changed before, like from 2023 to this time. What did you see
Mm-hmm.
some of the areas that have changed, especially when it comes to journalism and the use of AI and
Sure.
media?
Sure. So it's interesting. When I was back when I was working in California,
Mm-hmm.
one of the ways I made a little extra money would be I would write these little short briefs about games I was covering
Yeah.
for the Associated Press, which is a wire service, and they would pay me like $75 a game to do it. Now the Associated Press just feeds the box score
Yeah.
into a machine, and it spits out 4 paragraphs that it then publishes without having to pay a reporter. So
Yeah.
I know that in some ways AI feels really new. And one of the things that's really new about AI is that all of us have the ability to sort of create
Mm-hmm.
information and be able to create sort of AI summaries and AI
Mm-hmm.
generated information when
Yeah.
really it was a specialized thing before.
Mm.
What's changed, I think, now is that AI right now is a solution in search of a problem. In
Yeah.
some ways,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of desire to inject it into the way we do a lot of traditional processes,
Yeah.
especially here, thinking, writing, learning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always clear how well it actually um, helps us accomplish these goals. So, in the case of journalism, for instance, if I load a bunch of AI can't really distinguish between truth and falsehood, right?
Yeah.
It's not the way it's designed. Sort of an AI. There's not a machine. There's not somebody in there thinking. It's not
Yeah.
actually intelligent. It's a
Mm-hmm.
word calculator.
Yeah.
So it knows what words usually go together,
Mm-hmm.
and so it can write what looks like human text,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not writing human text with any sort of value on truth. It doesn't know what's true and what's false. It knows what words usually go together.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the stuff that we see in news has already happened before, or similar things have happened
Mm-hmm.
before, so that kind of probability, you know,
Yeah.
can get if it doesn't involve any sort of higher level thinking or
Mm-hmm.
analysis, it's fine. But as
Mm-hmm.
soon as something that's never happened before happens,
Yeah.
or as soon as things have, as soon as you need to sort of make sense of what happened, AI
Yeah.
really stops being useful very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the aspect of that financial aspect. You talk about how professional journalists go to like so many extents before
Mhm.
to kind of source information, to spend a lot of money to verify information before producing them, and which is really, really helpful, especially when they use all those professional skills to use more of the traditional method of journalism and all that. And with the distinction of the AI now, people can just access information anyhow. And we may not even know whether an individual is a professional journalist or not, right? Especially when you talk about those processes that journalists go through to find those information. So talking about that aspect, because whatever it is that has advantage also has disadvantage, right?
Mhm.
We are glad for the invention of AI because individuals can quickly access information, but that aspect of verification is very important. And even with the curiosity of young people today, sourcing information to just spread them around to access or to gain money from social media and all that. So I really want us to talk about that aspect, because using that avenue in accessing information just for maybe gaining financial income and all that can really go a long way in creating more harm than good with the use of AI. So, what will be your advice when it comes to the use of AI? I know last time we talked about with our communication student in media literacy, how they can really ascertain information that are true or false, right? So, what could be your advice to communication students and even the general public, especially when it comes to using critical skills,
Mhm.
right, analytical skills to really verify information, to assess them before use, now that we're in the area of AI?
I mean, one of the really hard things about
Mm-hmm.
research generally and dealing with AI specifically is that we don't know what we don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
That when I type in something about medicine into a search engine,
Mm-hmm.
I am not like an expert in medicine. I have very basic
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. Whatever. I have an undergraduate's knowledge of biology, right? I
Yeah.
can't read a. I mean, I probably can read a research paper, but I'm not going to know all the citations. I'm not going to know everything,
Mm-hmm.
all the background. The same go. So when if I don't know anything, I'm more likely to be convinced by the first thing I see that sounds
Convincing
yeah,
of true.
right. If it's written in a tone that's meant to convey authority,
Mm-hmm.
I may find that authoritative.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we just talked about, whether it's true or not, the
Mm-hmm.
AI, the machine that is producing that language has no idea, right? It knows how to write in a tone. It knows it has like an algorithm that has it kind of finding whatever information it's looking at. So an AI sort of uh, that language model that is trying to scour the internet to make sense of things is trusting that you are trusting that whoever posted that thing on the internet was correct, because
Mm-hmm.
if it's pulling bad information, it can't tell the difference between good and bad information because those words are just numbers to it.
Yeah.
So the thing I would advise people is if you're interested in AI, search something, go in and start writing about things that you know. Go in first, start asking about things you know about,
Mm-hmm.
and start to see what it gets right and what it gets wrong, because that's going to tell you something that once you start searching things that you don't know anything about,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able. You don't have that background to sort of make
Mm-hmm.
make claims between different things. It's
Yeah.
you know it's the fact that we can't all be expert. We can't all be amazing experts in
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's part of life, right?
Yeah.
If somebody wants to come ask about like soccer, I think I'm pretty good at soccer.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody wants to come ask me about, again, quantum mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
I would go say, well, no, I'm on campus, right? I can go talk to somebody else about that. Go over to the physics department and talk to
Yeah.
that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all experts in something.
Mm-hmm.
We all know a lot about something.
Mm-hmm.
And when we search on the things that we know about,
Yeah.
often we will find that stuff doesn't really make sense to us. And so we need to generalize that into the areas of the things that we would say that we are not expert in.
Yeah.
Again, people are very smart about a few things,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the reason society works is that we all bring our talents and our
Yeah.
knowledge to various problems and we kind of work together that way.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think the goal behind a lot of the people who are creating AI technology is to break that down, right? Is to make it be a thing that like, oh, anybody can have
Mm-hmm.
full knowledge of something.
Yeah.
But the
Yes.
problem with that is that you don't know what you don't know. The
Mm-hmm.
things you don't know a lot about,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody says it to you in a way that makes you feel like they know what they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to buy into a tone of voice. We're going to
Yeah.
buy into a you know type of writing. Like
Yeah.
those are giving us cues, and
Yeah.
AI can mimic those cues.
Yeah.
But what it can't do is tell the difference between what is true and what is
Hmm.
false.
Yeah. So one key area I really pick from what you have mentioned is knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge, having that skills, that knowledge, especially when it comes to critical thinking, to really know what is true or false, right? Having, even though um, we may not know every area of specialization, but it's very important for us to have key knowledge about some areas, especially if we are assessing information regarding to that particular field, right? So it's important for us to have knowledge about whatever area we are sourcing information from, to know what is credible, what is not credible in that regard, instead of just as consuming every information that we receive, right? And that is where media literacy comes in,
Absolutely.
right? So media literacy is not all about education or all about student. I mean, right? General public, we all need to have media literacy, right? To have knowledge in how we assess information, verify them, evaluate them before we use them, before making informed decision. Thank you so much for your time. Thank
Right.
you for the knowledge, your expertise, all what you have shared today. We are so grateful and we look forward for another time with you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have anything that you want to add?
I mean, I could talk for days, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you so much for this time. Stay tuned with us with Sepia Empowerment, Empowering Life with Public Awareness Initiative. Thank you. Remember to get information that are more credible, more verified from credible sources. Thank you.